Right, well, let's get stuck into it, because like I say, it's tricky fair, isn't it, G-Rod? How confident are you that you're going to be giving plenty of winners today?
Yeah, fairly confident.
All right, well, let's kick on with the 220. It's the Betway Sprint Handicap at Haydock Park. We don't have betting just yet, but hopefully, G-Rod, you've got the winner.
Yeah, I thought it was a Tills race between Full Intention and Awesome Allen. The ground's going to be on the soft side at Haydock. It's already soft and there's loads of rain forecast, so I could get really testing there. Both of them like soft ground. Their form really ties in together. They all seem to beat each other. Like Awesome Allen wins one day and then Full Intention wins the next. But I just think it might be Full Intention's turn this time. He's carrying top weight. He's got to give a couple of pounds to Awesome Allen. But last time out at Haydock over the same trip, he travelled really nicely into the race from a bad draw, still at 13. He was the only double-figure runner to make the first four. The rest of them were all in single figures. He ran an absolute stormer. Now, he has got a higher draw again this time, but it might be a bit different this time on the ground.
God, look at it. Look at that.
I know, terrible forecast,
It's going to absolutely chuck it down, isn't it?
I wouldn't fancy being there much.
From daybreak tomorrow, it's really going to...
Yeah, it could be really grim up there.
Yeah.
But Full Intention handles soft ground, and yeah, he's my pick.
Full Intention. David, have you got a strong view on this one?
I do. I strongly fancy Full Intention, Bruce. Funny stat here, actually. Well, not a funny stat, but a great stat if you're Tom Dascombe. If you had a tenner on every runner that Tom Dascombe has had at Haydock in the last 5 years, how much would you be in profit now or loss, do you think?
A lot.
I guess 1,030 maybe.
Yeah, you'd be over £1,000 in profit. That's not bad.
Really?
He's £101.83 level stakes profit at Haydock. He's had 44 winners there in the last 5 years. And on grass, the closest to that is Chester, where he's like 29 or something. So he does target Haydock, and I actually fancy a few horses of his tomorrow. But this Full Intention, as Graham alluded to there, that run the last day was a cracking run from 13, because the winner was 5, the winner was 5, the third was 8, the fourth was 1, and the fifth was drawn in stall 4. He's only up £2 for that, and he's really good on soft ground, because his best ever performance came in the Windsor Castle last year. He was 4th to Ardad that day. And I think the key to this horse is that he had been running over 5 a lot last year, but he's running over 6 now, and he's been gelded. And I think that's the key. You'll see there 2 runs ago he was 5th to Zamjar, but that doesn't tell the story, because he clipped heels inside the final furlong. He would have been a lot closer than 2.5 lengths that day. He was unlucky the last time because he traded really short in running. I think he'll win, Bruce.
Okay, and Frank, what's your opinion?
Yeah, you could definitely see the claims for Full Intention, and like even to go back to that Windsor Castle run was even more meritable because he was on the wrong side to where all the pace was that day. So the fact that he got so close was excellent. But there was one in here I thought was a good thing, but of Michael Appley's called Fantasy Keeper. He won on handicap debut at Nottingham last time on soft ground off a mark of 65. He beat a horse called Seaview easily by 2 lengths. Seaview was just touched off in handicap at Ripon yesterday. Ryan Moore is booked, which is very eye-catching. It's the first time in 5 years Michael Appley has put him up. They say that the softer the ground, the better for him, and with the horrendous forecast, it's going to be heavy there tomorrow. I think he'll take a fair bit of beating, up only £6 for that Nottingham win.
Righto, so to summarise then, good stuff. You've started very well there, lads. G-Rod and DJ both fancy Full Intention. Frank wouldn't be surprised to see that win, but he believes that Fantasy Keeper will get the job done. Okay, good stuff, lads. 3:30 we'll move on to now. It's the Betway Pinnacle Stakes. It's a Group 3. And we've got some betting, haven't we, Frank?
Yeah, Adjman Princess are favourite of 5-2. Laganor is 7-2. Batil 4-1. Maleficent Queen 7-1. Dubka 8-1, and we're 14-1 bar.
David Jennings, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm going to stay I'm going to be very patriotic here and go for Laganor from the Tony Martin stable with Jamie Spencer up. I think with Laganor, I know she's only tried the trip once, and that was in this race last year. And people will say, "Oh, she doesn't stay." But that was her only try at the trip, and Kieran Fallon had a shocker because he held her up last, and it was a real slow pace. And the only ones that got into it were Journey and Sweeping Up, who finished first and second. Nothing else got into the race, so you can kind of put a line through that. And she's won over 1 mile and 2 at Navan, and as you know, Navan is as stiff a track as you can get. So I think she will stay. I know she's drawn in stall 11, but Spencer will be looking for cover, and it'll be probably watching through your fingers kind of stuff, because she'll have to come from the back of the pack. But she's a really, really good filly, so she is. I thought her last 2 runs were rock solid. She was third to Somehow at Gorham Park on soft ground, so the ground won't be any problem to her. And then she was just collared late by Turret Rocks at the Curragh. I think she is the most likely winner.
Frank, who do you think is the most likely winner?
Yeah, I think the top three here set a fair standard, but I think with the forecast ground, there's a horse called Batil that used to be trained by David Simcock. It's over in France now with some trainer called Grafford. I don't know a whole pile about, but she ran over 1.7 last time with Sean T in a Group 3 where she ran a very good race to be second, beating 2.5 lengths, but her record on ground, soft or worse, is 4 from 4. And with the forecast the way it is, I think she looks a knocking each way better. I think she's just big at 5-1 out there. I think you'd at least get her in the places, if not win.
Who's done the best stab at this race so far out of DJ and Frank, do you think, Graham?
Quite clear for me, because I had a good look at the race and I thought there was no way that thing DJ tip would stay. So I'm definitely in the Frank camp. I don't like it when trainers run a horse a million times over the same trip without trying them more over a mile and a half. If he thought this horse was going to get a mile and a half, Tony Martin, then why has he not tried it before? I mean, the horses had plenty of chance.
What about trending? He ran for about 10 years at 6 furlongs, ended up winning over 1.7, didn't he?
Sizing John.
Yeah.
There's always an exception to the rule. But Batil is an absolute mudlark, loves it. They can't get soft enough for it. No wonder they've moved it over to France, to Graffard's yard, because, there's always testing out there. But he's bringing it back here, and it's going to be bottomless. Batil will absolutely love it. I think Batil will be very difficult to beat.
Righto, and the other race at Haydock we're going to look at is the big race of the day there. It's the Betway John O'Gaunt Stakes, a Group 3 for which Breton Rock is favourite, isn't he, Frank?
Yeah, he's 5-2. Mitchell Swaggers 4-1. Ground 9-2. Gelata absolutely so, and so beloved are 7-1. That is the Spirit is 14-1, and we're 16-1 bar.
If you happen to be in the Mijas area of southern Spain tomorrow and you hear a massive great roar from a bar, it will probably be Paul Keeley, because it will mean Mitchum Swagger has run. He's had a big bet on Mitchum Swagger. G-Rod, what do you think?
Yeah, well, Mitchum Swagger absolutely loves soft ground again, but how much money have I lost on this horse over its career? I mean, it is an absolute bookie's dream, this horse. Always goes off a lot shorter than it probably should do, and very rarely wins. The difference, I suppose, here could be that we've got Ryan taking over, and Mitchum Swagger's quite a tough ride. You need to keep at him, and he stays and stays and stays and keeps going forever. I just have a gut feel that he's better on a straight track. This is obviously around 7 furlongs. I know he's drawn on the inside, but he lacks a yard of pace for me, and I think he might be better over a mile nowadays.
Who are you going for?
Breton Rock for me, the favourite. Another one with a good draw, but this one's got a bit of pace about him. He will have the tactical speed to hold up round the bend there, and if he can get well placed, he's got a good turn of speed. Breton Rock for me.
Graham fancies the Jolly. What about you, DJ?
When the betting came out on this, I like to consider myself a pretty good at tissues, and I kind of priced this race up in my head before the prices came out, and I can't believe how big Gelata is. 7s, and it's biggest with power, so obviously Frank is taking him on, so Frank will obviously do his usual line where he goes, there's one in here, and you're going, oh no, Frank has spotted a certainty somewhere. But anyway, I fancy Gelata. I think the ground will be fine, because its best performance actually came over this course and distance in a conditions race last year. Made all that day, won quite convincingly. I think he's getting better with age. I thought that run in the Bet365 mile was really, really good. It was third to Sovereign Debt and Gabriel, who fought out to finish to the Diamond Stakes at Epsom last week, and the 4th Opal Tiaras ran well since as well. And that day, over a mile at Sandown, he was the last horse off the bridle that day. Travelled really well under Spencer. I think soft ground and 7 furlongs at Haydock is this horse's bread and butter. I think 7-1 is huge.
Right, just an interesting point about Gelata, as I was reading Charlie Yields' column in the Weekender, and he was saying that he doesn't think he's going to run Gelata. He'll almost certainly wait for Royal Ascot, because he thinks he could run really well at Royal Ascot. So and that was only a couple of days ago. So the fact that he's changed his mind, is always a positive,
Yeah.
Suggests to me that he must be showing him something at home. Maybe, he's in top form and he thought, we'll have a crack now.
Yeah, that could be. That's a good clue, that. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Frank, you've been waiting patiently. What do you make of the John O'Gaunt?
Yeah, I thought, Gelata's interesting. He's a good enough record with a bit of cut. I just thought it'd be difficult enough with the heavy ground to give away £3 to a few here. Same with Breton Rock, he's to give £5 away. I am in the same boat as Mr. Keeley. I had a bet at the start of the week on Mitchum Swagger when the betting went up first, and I'm very happy with it now. Ryan Moore booked. He's run at Haydock there last year when he was touched off by Hatal in a Group 3. If he could replicate that, I think it'd be very difficult to beat. And you only have to go back to last year in the Royal Hunt Cup, when off a mark of 108, David Lanigan thought he was an absolute certainty, and couldn't believe he was beat. Now, it ended up being probably the draw, beat him on the day. But if he can run anything like that, I think he'll be very hard to beat, getting weight from the top two.
Lovely stuff. Anything else at Haydock without giving your nap away, G-Rod?
Yeah, there's an interesting runner in the 440, Warrior's Spirit, for Richard Hannon. Got caught behind in a slowly run race at Newbury. Stayed on quite nicely. That race had worked out well. I thought it was an absolute certainty at Newmarket next time up, but ran no sort of race. Couldn't put my finger on why. I think it might be worth another chance.
Okay. DJ?
Yeah, I spoke earlier about Tom Dascombe at Haydock, and I think Reflector in the 255 is quite interesting. Both wins have been on soft ground, so it's crying out for soft ground. Ran okay at Chester last time. It only beat a few home, but I kind of looked at it. It got trapped on the outside, looked like it needed to run. I think Reflector is around 12-1. I think that's quite interesting. I'd say it'll go off a bit shorter than that.
Frankie, any other Haydock fancies?
Would you believe I had 3 horses, and the 2 of them have been mentioned so far? For the same reasons Graham said, Warrior Spirit, I'd give him another go. Reflector's very interesting in that 255. Again, he handles cut no problem, and that Tom Dascombe's record of the track is excellent. I think he'd be worth playing each way at a double figure price.
Yeah, he won't go off 12s.
He won't. No. I think he was entered in a race at, was it Ripon or somewhere like that, and he was moving in the market before he was made a non-runner. So I think it's significant enough. They obviously think he's well handicapped, and he just needed to run at Chester. And then the 515, another Tom Dascombe horse. I'm taking a bit of a chance on stamina here. But Calder Prince, won a 7 furlong handicap on soft ground here last year off a mark of 94. He's down to 85 here. It's only a few runs back. He was 5 lengths forward to Afjan, who'll be vying for favouritism in the Royal Hunt Cup. He's gone up £6 for that. And the second that day was Oh This Is Us, who won listed race at Haydock next time and was third, slightly unlucky in the Diomed Stakes at Epsom next time. And Calder Present's actually been dropped. Prince been dropped a couple of pounds since then. Haydock is fine if he could get an easy time on the lead, and if he does, hopefully he'll see out the mile and he'd go well at, again, he could be a 14 or 16-1.
Fantastic. Excellent summary of the Haydock card, chaps. Well done. Competition time then. Every week we give listeners and viewers the chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet, courtesy of our sponsors, Paddy Power. All you've got to do is answer a simple question and tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast. Monday's question was, who finished second to Wings of Eagles in the Derby? The answer, of course, is Cliffs of Moher, and the winning entry was sent in by D. Gill from Belfast. Well done, D. Your free bet will be credited to your Paddy Power account. Join Maddie on Monday for another chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet from Paddy Power.